I went to a new acupuncturist because my old acupuncturist had gone off the deep end. He'd become convinced that he had magical powers, started wearing a robe and a strange hat. I thought maybe I just wouldn't get acupuncture anymore, but then I got this stomach ache and wicked gas, so I went on the internet and found a replacement. Her name was Ying. She was Chinese, very tall, serious, but not too serious, and she kind of dressed like a doctor in a white jacket. I judge all medical people by their waiting rooms, and Yang had a nice one. There were plants and a water cooler and charts in Chinese. The chairs were comfortable and they didn't match. It was homey. When I got on the table, she took my pulses and checked my tongue, and she seemed pretty much like every other acupuncturist I'd gone to. She asked about my symptoms and my diet, and when she did, she pressed different random spots and asked if they hurt. Many of them did. She was exceptionally good at finding pain. And then I guess because I told her about my stomach cramps, she started digging in a few spots around my navel. This hurt like hell. I tried to keep a brave face, but before long I was whimpering and then trying not to scream. Finally, I did scream, stop. She paused, told me to breathe, and then went back to work. This went on until I was like practically dying. Finally, she was finished inflicting pain and said she wanted to do cupping. I said, okay, I'd been cupped before. They take these little sucking gizmos, about 8 of them, and set them sucking on your back for around 10 minutes. Then they pop them off and read the circular hickeys thus created for information. The new wrinkle that Ying introduced me to after she did my back was she had me turn over and did my front. The end result was I was completely covered in polka dots. She told me to come back in 2 days. When I came back, she started quizzing me about my previous acupuncturist. Had he given me Chinese medicine? Yes. Had he started behaving strangely? Yes. I told her how he'd said to me that he was a shaman and about his new age clothes. She started digging into my stomach again. I closed my eyes. The pain was so intense that I started having visions. I saw some kind of dinosaur struggling in a tar pit and a volcano and Norwegians. At first, I didn't realize that I was describing this stuff, saying this stuff out loud, but Ying was asking me what I was seeing, and I was kind of narrating. Then my eyes popped open from an insane, sudden pain. I looked down, and Ying had her hand halfway inside my navel. She was literally rummaging in my abdomen. I tried to say something, but what came out didn't sound completely human. And then while I watched, she pulled this wriggling, filthy black fish out of me. It stank, and it had teeth. She threw it on the floor, picked up a metal wastebasket, and beat the fish to death. Suddenly, I felt much better and said so. She nodded wearily, wiping black spatter off of her arms, handed me a towel, and said I should never go back to my old acupuncturist, that he was a bad man. That's when I decided maybe I wouldn't go to acupuncturists anymore.